It started as a peaceful demonstration in the Bishop Arts area.
No KKK, no fascist USA, no Trump.
Then protesters began taking over the streets.
Streets are streets.
And it quickly turned into chaos on Jefferson Friday night.
I wish it was more peaceful.
I'm disappointed with everything, the whole fact that you can't even walk and speak our rights without the police always jumping at us.
There was shouting from police and protesters as officers tried clearing the crowded street. They initially detained 2 men, including this unidentified guy in the red t-shirt.
This is a violation of the Constitution!
A woman rushed the street trying to defend the arrested protesters.
Back out of the street.
Police handcuffed her too.
Let them go!
As the crowd chanted, "Let them go," some witnesses stood by, urging others to give the new president a chance.
Give the guy a chance, let him try to make it, see what can happen, and we got to stick together as a community.
No, no, no. Anybody in there? We are here to assist and give aid.
Homes flooded by the block. So much water with nowhere to go that the Patel family knew it was time to get out Monday evening.
It's too much rain, and the boat guys were telling me the house behind us were getting flooded. It was at roof level.
1, 2, 3.
The Duffys experienced the same only a few moments earlier. They're exhausted and drained, but still with us.
It was almost to the door, so that's about 7 foot. Yeah. It was scary.
Foot after foot of swelling floodwaters coming from Cypress Creek near the Old Oaks neighborhood in North Houston. This gentleman and his dog stranded since early Saturday. He's being treated by paramedics while little Frodo will stay with a neighbor.
A lot of people chose not to go when they had the chance, so they stayed in.
And the rescues just keep on coming. In nearby Humble, which like North Houston is seeing band after band of torrential rain, we were only able to get to a Best Western via rescue boat, guests forced to evacuate or go to the 2nd or 3rd floors. And what will surely be one rough day after another in the coming weeks.
A place that sees lots of quiet moments did not today.
Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away.
More hollered ground than hollowed.
To determine the type of city that we will be.
He had nothing to do with the Confederacy.
The answer is they would not have been free.
A dialogue where no one listened.
Racist comes in all colors.
2 sides fighting over the Confederate monuments here in downtown Dallas.
These monuments have done their insidious evil work.
This group, led by Michael Phillips and others, is trying to bring these monuments down. Calls it the cult of death.
When you look up at this monument, what do you see?
I see my family.
Just feet from them, this group came with Confederate flags, says they are here to protect legacy.
To me, it's just ridiculous. I mean, that's history.
We're not going to listen to you now. History won't listen to you in the future.
Each speaking of great-great-grandparents who fought and died for the South.
I think it was men that died. The several.
Today came with considerable security, officers in uniforms and plain clothes.
You need to step back.
Just in case a topic as polarizing as this got out of hand.
So why do you carry that flag? Because this is my heritage. My family fought to save their farm under this flag. Who was working that farm?
They proclaimed that the South's cause was states' rights.
But as with every shouting match, there is an end.
Of anger, fear, and resentment.
God bless the Confederacy!
Hard to expect anybody swaying anyone today.
As long as these monuments stand, this behavior that we saw tonight will be reinforced.
Today's rally ended in song for both sides.
Well, I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray! Hooray!
More noise that you don't expect here. Jordan Paniker, Channel 8 News.
What do you think it's like welded down onto that marble thing?
This second attempt to remove Robert E. Lee and the soldier riding with him started at 3:30 in the afternoon. Under heavy police presence to keep any potential protest at bay, the workers arrived with their company name not on their trucks and their license plates either covered or removed, so they couldn't be identified in the subject of threats like what happened to the first work crew that tried this.
There's no way that can support it.
And in the 4 hours they worked, conversations about history and race and relics of the Civil War were the order of the day behind police lines.
I don't know, I see both sides to it.
Two young women mostly indifferent to the entire political discussion.
I feel like to make everyone happy, don't store it. At least put it in like a museum for people to go and look at it. Yeah, right?
It's a piece of history, basically. It's U.S. history.
Hey, it's a piece of history. I mean, we need to look at this and learn from it.
While three men talked, insulted by the removal of a tribute to Southern heritage that's been standing in this park since 1936.
I think the funny thing is, in a way, this resurrects old wounds rather than heals them.
I don't think the city has handled this in a very democratic way.
A 74-year-old woman who explained she didn't see what all the fuss was about in the first place.
It's just been a part of my life all my life. And every time I've looked at it, have never once thought about oppression or slavery.
I'm going to enjoy this.
But in the view of an African-American mom and daughter, the removal of a tribute to a Confederate leader and his message was 81 years overdue.
And feeling kind of like you're unwanted. And it's like, no, we're going to learn from our past mistakes. And I'm like, feels good. Vibes up. Oh, God.
Mostly cheers echoed through this park when the statue was finally wrested from its base and loaded onto a trailer for its next trip to a City of Dallas storage facility. No violence, no major protests, just another trip down a Dallas street for a Confederate general.
The end of an era. We'll have to see what the park becomes. And there it goes.
Riding into the sunset while the debate over what his legacy should be.
This isn't what America stands for.
Lives on.
On Vanderbilt Avenue, it's a Christmas mystery in bright neon green.
I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe someone did that.
At the Hale House down the block,
This is so funny.
someone left a present.
1, 3, 5, 6, 7,
8, 10, 11, 13, 14.
A lot of them.
All lovely bright green bikes.
Christmas morning, they walked out their front door and found more than a dozen Lime bikes on the lawn.
It's like, Mom, come here. You gotta see this.
Then I came out here, I was like, oh my gosh, we got biked.
Yes, biked. Apparently, 2017's answer to toilet paper or flamingos, bikes that can be rented by the half hour planted in their yard.
It was a pretty funny prank.
Ready for someone to take them for a spin.
Come get him.
Right away, they had a suspect, their neighbor and family friend.
A very good guess, and then the text was able to quickly decipher it.
Today, we tracked him down, but David Wilk denied.
Yeah, nope. Love the Hales. I just thought that was part of their whole festive spirit.
He did say, though, he's a fan of Lime bikes.
You can pick them up anywhere, and then you can drop them off anywhere. How great is that? Sometimes they're all in bunches.
Here's our house right here.
The bunch on the Hales lawn shows up on the app.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. There's so many.
Whoa, that is a lot of bikes.
But by this evening, they were gone. Lime Bike picked them up. The company wasn't laughing, telling us it is, quote, morally wrong and an attack on the overall transportation system in Dallas.
A good joke, maybe?
The Hales are still smiling, and they won't forget.
Pretty funny.
The year everyone
Better than toilet papering.
got bikes for Christmas.
It's probably one of the biggest surprises we've received.
Certainly one of the oddest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up with 1,000 bikes in my yard.
In Dallas, Bradley Blackburn, Channel 8 News.
How's everybody doing out there?
Amen, sister.
Okay.
It took 4.5 years to get here.
You may think that I'm talking through it. You heard that I'm lying, that I'm free.
Randy Travis is no stranger to the stage or the show. Taped here in Fort Worth with lifelong musician Dave Alexander.
It's not about money. Money can't buy what he needs.
Because tonight he needs you to listen.
I miss his voice.
You may remember Randy Travis had viral cardiomyopathy. More than 4 years ago, his heart shut down.
Life was minute to minute. We didn't know.
He suffered a massive stroke, spent 5.5 months in the hospital.
They said, just pull the plug, there's no hope.
His wife Mary tried everything, took him to countless hours of rehab and therapy. only to find out the music that made him could also save him.
I'll be honest with you, I just didn't know if he was getting it. And I couldn't get any response from him to know if he was getting it. Forever and ever, forever and ever. Amen. That's the one I wanted to hear.
He holds music sessions in Randy's living room, the same place that holds his first guitar.
I thought he walked on water. One of my favorite songs. I can see it in his eyes. I just know when it reaches him. I have no doubt when it reaches him. That's a pretty one. Yeah. I love that. Is that about your grandpa? Your granddaddy? Oh, no.
Preacher.
Before the sessions, it was the horses on his farm that could do that. Randy was responding, a word at a time or even a laugh.
That's where he liked to spend his time, away from music.
His father trained horses, so did he. His connection to them is undeniable, maybe now more than ever.
It's getting time, though, that we probably start doing rehab again.
No.
Well, he's pretty adamant about that.
Nope.
Randy would rather have the rehab that happens on 6 strings, even when played wrong.
When he started reacting to my mistakes in music, I knew you're not only getting it, you're getting it all.
The breakthroughs were noticeable. It's amazing grace, really.
How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
It's a special song for us. It is Amazing Grace. This life is amazing.
Was blind, but now I see.
The stroke that shut off part of his brain could not shut out the song he kept in his heart.
He's using his mind to connect pitch, rhythm, and the emphasis of the song.
His own songs are coming back too, slowly.
If you're wondering how long I'll be faithful, just listen to how this song ends. I'm gonna love you forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever. Say hi to my buddy Randy Travis.
Dave and Randy are now collaborating, doing shows to raise money for the Randy Travis Foundation. And that's why this moment matters. The voice once lost has now been found. Jobin Paniker, Channel 8 News. Hurricane Harvey made its statement. We saw it, heard it throughout Houston.
Put it on him. Put it on him.
You may even find it here.
Door yellow 7, 90 for my running back. Oh!
This is their escape from some really horrible things that have happened in the community.
I thought it was a good idea. I just didn't know if I could get it here in time.
Second Baptist prepares for Friday.
People can come out tonight and get a break.
How did my outside linebacker not pick that?
The team went 11 days without practice.
So y'all good at home?
Because some things...
Y'all good at home?
Yeah, we're all good.
...are just more important.
Everything that's on the first floor is gone.
On Friday, a lot more is happening between the lines. While most schools canceled games, Bert needed a rush on a logo from Cleveland, Ohio.
But I was worried about the shipping.
Shocked. Totally surprised.
Worry is painted all over this town. Like many, Trey Vick's home flooded weeks later, and there's still water.
You don't ever expect it to be this bad.
His son starts at outside linebacker.
You know, they just took off their work clothes and put on football clothes, and we put them back to work.
The field reads what many have learned about themselves.
Houston strong.
2 simple words that make complicated sense.
This community, showing support for each other, rallying.
From players on the field to people in the stands. Hurricane Harvey has hit them one way or another. So tonight,
I think this is the perfect time to have a football game.
Talk about making a statement on the field.
There's a lot of us. We're now a family of 6.
You could say Nicole Baca was born to be a mom.
Pizza!
There's Tatum, twins Cassidy and Camden, and the tiniest of the bunch.
His name is Lincoln Cole Baca.
Today is little Lincoln's day to shine in front of the camera. And because Nicole is no novice, we asked to tag along.
Oh my goodness gracious. Look at him. Isn't he so cute?
Cute is Jessica Cook's specialty.
Ta-da. They're so fresh and so pure.
The SMU graduate started fat baby photography while she was still in college.
My mom owned a daycare when I was little. So like kids were my life, and I guess I was just kind of destined to do something with babies.
4 years later, her baby business is booming.
I supply everything. I supply outfits, backdrops. I literally tell them all you have to do is bring baby.
Today, Mom Nicole delivered.
We're about to do naked. What are my precautions? I have none. So we're gonna squish. There we go. See, whenever he gets squishy, then he's got rolls right here.
Between squishes,
you see, you got some blankets under there? That one's gonna support his head, like a pillow.
Jessica uses blankets to prop up those sweet little baby booties and get the angles just right.
And then I keep it warm in here, because babies can't control their body temperature. Keeping them in a comfortable state helps them stay sleepy.
A sound machine shushes Lincoln into a sweet slumber, even while Jessica contorts his little limbs.
I'm molding them into different positions with ease, you know, and they're sleeping through that. And almost every session I get a parent in here that says, I can't believe they're asleep. How are you keeping them asleep? Can you look at them and tell them a secret? People think that just because they have a camera, they can make it work, but it's really like an art of forming that baby, making that baby comfortable, keeping them safe.
But let's not be naive about this. 4 hours with a newborn isn't all rainbows and sunshine.
So I prepare people for that. Like, you're gonna be here for a long time.
There's frowning.
Give me a smile.
Crying.
I've paced this floor for an hour or two before, just trying to get a baby to settle.
And
are you getting pooped on?
Yes.
Did you catch that on film? Is it on you? Now he's peeing.
Oh, he's way too...
Okay, hold on.
Ugh, yeah, not so glamorous.
It's a memory, and we caught it on tape, and that's the important part.
Jessica's prep guide for parents before a photo sesh: keep them up in the morning to wear them out. Then bathe them. Getting them clean makes their hair nice and fuzzy. Finally, feed them right before leaving the house. Leave it to the mystery of cropping, editing, and a little wizardry from the baby whisperer.
A lot of training, and you have to be good with babies.
To come away from those memories.
You have poop on your hands.
With these.
People will comment on my Facebook page saying, "Stop making me want another baby." And I'm like, I can't help it.
All this from a woman who hopes to earn the title of mom herself one day. Sonia Azad.
That's a favorite, huh?
Channel 8 News.
Hey, let's go, let's go.
After 76 years of darkness, an incredible piece of history is coming back to light.
You ready?
Yes, sir. This
It's been a long time.
is Texas Wesleyan's first football team
It's going to take faith for you to win this game.
since 1941.
Glory forever. Amen, amen.
And these guys
Get him
know
out, Kane Hard.
the wait is finally over.
It's time.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Like they said, it's time.
They're all eager to revive this program. But safe to say, no one is more excited
Oh, gosh, okay.
than these two
It's exciting.
70-year-old women from Fort Worth.
Oh, thrilled. Just thrilled. So excited.
Susan Roddy
So excited.
and Marcia Hilcher
Yes.
are best friends
Yeah.
who owe their lives and friendship to Texas Wesleyan football.
If it hadn't been for the friendship of Hall and Monroe, we would not have our friendship.
Susan's dad, Paul Splawn,
This is my dad, yes.
was the running back for that old Texas Wesleyan team.
They were the dynamic duo.
Marcia's dad, Monroe McCarty,
That's my daddy, Monroe.
was the quarterback.
Daddy was Wesleyan football.
And they were more than just teammates.
They may not have been blood brothers, but they were brothers in every other way. They were inseparable.
The two had been side by side since middle school.
Always together.
And so, after the attack on Pearl Harbor, Hall and Monroe both joined the war.
Side by side.
Marcia wasn't born until the war was over, but Susan was just 2 when her dad shipped out.
And before he left, he asked Monroe to take care of Mother and me in case anything happened.
That was the last time the two friends ever saw each other. Paul Splawn was killed in France in November of '44. Monroe was heartbroken, but never forgot what his friend had asked: take care of my family. So after the war, Monroe kept tabs on Susan and her mom. Over time, they grew close and eventually realized they were better together.
He wanted to marry my mother, and that he would become my dad.
Monroe McCarty gave his friend what he wished and gave her a sister. Marcia was born a couple of years later.
A lot of people suffered for me to get to be here. It's hard. Monroe did just what his friend asked him to do. And I couldn't have had a better daddy than Monroe. He became my dad in every sense of the word.
Without those two teammates, this family wouldn't be possible.
Eric, did you have any of those?
Which is why, when Texas Wesleyan announced football was coming back, they celebrated.
I never dreamed it would ever come true. This would have meant the world to them. Hi, how are you?
That first game
today we are witnesses to history.
Was like walking back in time.
I can just imagine Dad out there throwing that ball or catching that football. I'd give anything if they were here to see this.
Putt, putt, putt. 76 years in the making.
Come on, Rams.
Susan hardly remembers her birth father, but with each play, he came rushing back.
We can see them out on the field today.
When you've missed someone for 70 years, there's no way to describe the feeling of seeing them again.
There's really not.
And because of that, they will continue to be here, making sure that, like their father's legacy, this program will now live forever.
Such happy memories, happy memories.
John Giggy, Channel 8 News.
If you listen very carefully above the roar of the tractor,
Come on, pig.
and mixed in somewhere with the chorus of very hungry hogs,
Then you build it up to the trailer.
what you'll hear at this farm in DeSoto
Stand right here
are soldiers
and walk that way.
not finding peace and quiet,
Watch out for his tusks.
but certainly finding some badly needed peace of mind.
Don't let him get you, Josh. Come on. All right.
Today, Steve Smith, Josh Ledford, and Jason Corbin
Come on, pig. We almost got you there.
moving a herd of hogs
Too much, too much. Come on back.
from DeSoto to a new piece of land 20 miles down the road in Seagoville,
Come on back, come on back.
cultivating a bit of therapy
Stop.
with each and every month.
Yes, it does. I mean, you know, when we're farming, we got our hands in the dirt.
Jason Corbin is the farm
So
manager
it gives me a sense of purpose.
and a Marine veteran.
And people aren't meant to be by themselves, especially once they leave a whole brotherhood.
The idea is that brotherhood can be found if they're digging in the dirt side by side with their brothers again.
I was in a dark spot at one time when I got out, and I knew I wanted to help people. So, man, I want vets to smile. There's no reason they should feel like I did.
There's a lot of structure and regimen in the military, and there's a lot of structure and regimen in farming.
Steve Smith and a fellow veteran founded Farm 3 years ago. It stands for Farmers Assisting Returning Military. More than 250 through the program so far, growing food and training for a career as a farmer and growing their own confidence at the same time.
My partner was struggling with a lot of traumatic brain injury and PTSD, and it was exactly what he needed to heal.
We get them working, we get them, start teaching them, talking to them about what we're doing, and we get their minds off of things. And this is where the garden's going to be. We'll have to fence all this off.
It helps with PTSD. I know that a lot of the guys are struggling with depression. I've seen guys that have been on medicine and then given up their medicine because they're out here, they're working, the brotherhood, the camaraderie.
4 rows of compost and just plant it all.
A lot of these guys are carrying some serious baggage, and we're here to help them lift it.
Okay, little babies. Time to go eat.
And to help with that lift, they hope to build a community out here, a group of tiny houses where veterans can live and work, dig in the dirt, unearth their demons, and find that purpose in their lives again.
That's wonderful, man. I love it. I don't see myself going anywhere for a very long time but here.
Out here where the earth and a few noisy hogs
All right, piggies, there you go, eat up.
might offer the best therapy a struggling veteran could need. In Seagoville, Kevin Reese, Channel 8 News.
On a cold morning in a city defined by divide, a makeshift bridge is taking shape where the Rio Grande is a trickle. And on both sides, in Mexico and the United States, hundreds of people are waiting to use it.
I'm so happy to see my parents.
They're here for the promise of family.
Embrace for a few minutes.
It's an event called Hugs Not Walls. With the approval of authorities, they'll have a few short minutes to bend the rules. Mara is 24. She came to the U.S. with her family 10 years ago, fleeing violence in Juarez. But her older sister, Gabriela, didn't make it.
She got caught, and then we went to see her.
The last time she saw her was through glass.
Yes. I didn't talk to her, but I wanted to.
Now they see each other only through the glass of a cell phone. Gabriela was returned to Mexico, just miles away, but a world apart. Mara has DACA status, the Obama policy for so-called dreamers who came to the U.S. as children, but she can't go back to Mexico to visit.
But now I know I'm going to see her again.
Downtown, Maria arrived from Dallas
10 hours
to see her father for the first time in 20 years.
What are you most looking forward to?
Hugging him. Yeah, that's all.
She came to the U.S. when she was 10. Now she's 31 and a dreamer, but she left so much behind.
Separated from our families for a long time, just to have a better life.
Hugs Not Walls is organized by the Border Network for Human Rights.
We have families from Colorado, California, Arizona.
They secure the permits and cooperation from agencies on both sides of the border.
It really is a unique moment.
They've done this 3 times, but fear this could be the last under the new administration.
We need to do better, and that's what Hugs Not Walls is calling for.
So, with press watching from around the world, it began. 15 families at a time heading down the banks. Those from America in blue, from Mexico in white. They crossed the river one by one and stood face to face. Then the signal. Touches, tears, and joy. Grandparents meeting grandkids, brothers brought together. There were hundreds of families.
For those who organize Hugs Not Walls, this is a political statement, but for the families embracing here on the border right now, this moment is all heart.
Mara's family, number 158. She finally got that hug with her sister. Family number 226, Maria, spotted her father on the other side. With tears flowing, she walked to the river, split by a few feet. A hug that's waited 20 years. It lasted just 4 minutes, and then it was over.
I guess it gives me like strength to continue.
The struggle continues, but the power of family endures. In El Paso, Bradley Blackburn, Channel 8 News.